Moses' death is described in the Bible, primarily in the Book of Deuteronomy, and holds deep theological significance for both the Israelites and their history. According to the scriptures, Moses died at the age of 120, on Mount Nebo, just east of the Jordan River, in a region known as Moab. This moment marked the end of his extraordinary leadership, as he had led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt and guided them through their 40-year journey in the wilderness. Before his death, Moses was allowed by God to see the promised land from a distance. In Deuteronomy 34 verses 1-4, it is recorded that Moses climbed to the peak of Mount Nebo, where God showed him a panoramic view of the land that he had promised to give to the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Despite Moses' faithful service, he was not permitted to enter the promised land himself. This prohibition stemmed from an incident earlier in his life, when, in a moment of disobedience at Meribah, Moses struck a rock to bring forth water, instead of speaking to it as God had commanded. As a result, God told Moses that he would see the promised land but would not enter it. Moses' death was unique in that it was a direct act of God. The Bible notes that God himself buried Moses in an undisclosed location in the valley near Beth Peor, and that to this day, no one knows where his grave is. This mystery adds to the sacredness and reverence of Moses' passing. The final verses of Deuteronomy 34:10-12 reflect on Moses' unparalleled greatness as a prophet. He was described as having a close relationship with God, one in which God spoke to him face to face. His leadership, wisdom, and miracles were unmatched, and the Israelites mourned for him deeply. His death marked the end of an era, but it also set the stage for Joshua to take up the mantle and lead the people into the promised land. Moses' death is a reminder of his faithfulness and his pivotal role in God's plan for Israel. Despite his personal limitations, Moses' life exemplifies obedience and humility before God, and his death signifies a transition toward the fulfillment of God's promises.